Hi, welcome to QuBites, your bite-sized pieces of quantum computing. My name is Rene from Valorem Reply, and today we're going to recap Season 3. Yes, Season 3, you heard that correct. We're already there. And just like in Season 1 and 2, we had a bunch of amazing guests, a lot of insightful conversations, and I definitely learned a lot, and I hope you also got a few things out of those episodes. The first episodes where we kicked off QuBites Season 3 was really fantastic with our guest Xenia, who had an amazing story to share because she was actually a contemporary dancer before, a professional contemporary dancer before she actually then studied math and became a security expert, especially for cryptography and other very hard and math challenging cybersecurity topics, right? And she focuses on quantum security these days, and we talked about her impressive journey as well as quantum security. And so check it out because it's very important to think about quantum security. In episode 2, we talked with Anita from Microsoft's Azure Quantum team about T. Yes, about T, but just in the beginning. And then, well, we got an update what was happening in the Azure Quantum world, in the Azure Quantum landscape since spring 2021. And this half a year basically, and Anita told us what happened in the Azure Quantum world, and a lot has happened. Like you have, for example, now Jupyter Notebook support, and she also shared with us great ways how to get started with quantum computing. We came back to the quantum security topic in Season 3 in Episode 3 when I chatted with Patrick about applied quantum security, right? And he shared some of his long-standing experience in the field of security as well. And Patrick also explained what business leaders can do now to be prepared for the big disruption, right? The so-called Q day or the Y2Q day, right? You know the millennial bug maybe, Y2K. And so there's this new day that is coming. It's Y2Q, like quantum, which basically means there will be powerful enough quantum computers that can run Shor's algorithm to crack, for example, RSA 204080, right? And this is happening. And so we talked a little bit about this. And we actually chatted also a little bit in German with Patrick because he speaks fantastic German. But no worries, the whole episode is actually in English. In episode 4 of Season 3, Andre shared his unique experience and his perspective about the quantum computing business landscape. Andre is actually originally from Germany, just like myself, but Andre lives in the US since, I think, 20 years or something. And so I asked him about his transatlantic perspective, right? Looking at both continents, if you will. And he shared with us, some of the main differences between the Europe and the US, especially when it comes to quantum computing business and funding opportunities, right? Which is always important in this growing industry. With Bettina, we had an amazing guest from Microsoft's Quantum Development Kit team, because Bettina is one of the main people behind the Q# programming language and the Q# compiler, and as well as the QIR, the Quantum Intermediate Representation. So we talked quite a bit about that as well, right? And well, guess what? Bettina was a competing figure skater before, which, figure skating could also be seen as dancing on ice. So there must be something in common with dancing and quantum computing, and I guess you need to have a very strong stamina and perseverance in order to actually succeed in both of these disciplines, right? And so check out the episode where Bettina then even shared that there are even more people dancing with quantum computing, if you will. But great insights as well about the Q# language, of course. In episode 6, I interviewed Professor Eduardo from Brazil, who combines physical simulation with quantum computing, right? And he explained that they're actually building a generic partial differential equation solver, which is pretty impressive because this is not just useful for like fluid dynamics and fluid simulation like CFD, computational fluid dynamics, but also many other physical simulations because a lot of them are based on partial differential equations. And so if you can solve them with quantum computing, of course you can get immense speed up, right? And definitely super interesting stuff. Rebecca talked with me about her journey into the quantum computing, coming from Stanford AI and founding her own startups that even made her appear on the Forbes 30 under 30 list, right? Very impressive. And we also talked about quantum security again and how important it is to start preparing now to not get lost when, the Q day is happening, or Y2Q. And so that is very important, of course. But then we also talked about another very important topic to tackle right now: digital ethics, right? Responsible AI, but also responsible quantum computing, which is also a topic near and dear to my heart, and Rebecca as well. And so we chatted quite a bit about that. So make sure to check this out. Then we continued the journey into the quantum startup world with Emily. She's a deep tech analyst, and of course I asked her what that is and what a typical day for her as a deep tech analyst looks like. And she also shared with us some of her favorite impactful use cases, and also her perspective on what impact means, what bringing value means in this world of growing quantum computing industry. And was very insightful. And she also told us a little bit about her journey, which is also very impressive. And the quantum workforce was also a topic we talked about. Basically, the current shortage of the quantum workforce and what kind of roles are needed, and that it's not just physicists, or that you don't need to have a PhD in physics in order to work in the quantum computing landscapes, right? And so definitely an interesting episode, as well as all the others, of course, right? Well, and for the final episode of season 3, I interviewed Chris, who also works for Microsoft on quantum computing, and is one of the co-authors of this amazing book here, Learn Quantum Computing with Python and Q#, which he wrote with Dr. Sarah Kaiser, which you might remember from previous seasons of QuBites. We talked with Sarah in season 1 and 2. And and so in the episode 9 of season 3, when I talked with Chris, the co-author of this book, right, and we also talked about the book, of course, and then Chris explained why noisy quantum systems are also important to simulate, right? Because noise plays a big role with quantum computing, and Chris is an expert in that, and also simulating noise, basically. And he explained to us why it's so important to actually be able to simulate noise in order to then later on have proper error correction and also error prevention, which is key for achieving true quantum advantage, right? So these are the basics, things that really need to be solved. And it was a very insightful conversation there. Well, and then we have this summary episode you're currently watching, right? Episode 10 of season 3. Again, I hope you also enjoyed QuBites season 3 as much as I did, and learned as much as I did. It was definitely great talking and hosting these true quantum computing expert guests. And of course, we're already thinking about next season, season 4, to be released during winter season, I guess. We will see, but that's the plan right now. But we want to hear from you, right? From you folks. Please tell us, share us your feedback, right? Share us the feedback, what you liked in these episodes of QuBites season 1, 2, 3, and what you didn't like, of course, because we want to improve. And please also tell us if there's a certain topic you want to have covered, or if you have a guest you want to suggest that we should definitely have here on the show. And of course, also, if you want to be a guest, right? If you're in the quantum world, please reach out. I would love to have you as a guest, of course, right? And of course, if you want to start a project with quantum computing, always reach out to us as well, right? We have the right experts here in-house and a proven track record of building quantum computing solutions for our clients, right? Well, thanks everyone for joining us for another whole season of QuBites, your bite-sized pieces of quantum computing. Watch our blog, social media channels, and all these other channels to hear all about the next episodes and what we will be doing with season 4 and when it comes out. Thank you so much so far for watching all of this and staying with us. Take care and see you soon. Have a great time. Bye-bye.